G here. I'll wait for a couple people to hop on. What's going on, everybody? SJG here. On my way back to North Carolina from the Michael Vick press conference earlier today. Thought I'd share a little bit of thoughts, a little bit of insights. We're going to have actually a full wrap up coming up soon. But I did want to just hop on here and share a little bit of something because I do have a couple hours ahead of me on the road. And that is, today was a very big day. Obviously, this news has been permeating the last couple of weeks. Um, and it became official last week on Monday. Last week on Friday, but the news really broke earlier in the week, and so there was no surprise, but there was a lot of build up for this. It was on Monday morning at 10 a.m. and Norfolk State definitely did their big one on the presser in terms of making sure everything was organized great. It was a little bit different in terms of media. You had to register for the press conference instead of just showing up, which I guess that just signals that we're in a new day right now when it comes to Norfolk State football. Obviously, the hire of Michael Vick puts you in a whole different stratosphere. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Please hit that like button so this get some more likes and views. But it was a really great day event and a big day in the 757. Michael Vick, of course, the first overall pick in the 2000 NFL draft, the first black man to be picked number one as a quarterback. And so now, he's breaking barriers again and never having been a coach on any level. And he's now taking over a college football program. And so a lot of excitement and buzz in the air. Obviously, from the beginning, there's a lot of comparisons to Deion Sanders. And, even Vic himself, admitted that he did put a call into Deion Sanders. And he said they actually talked about this a year ago before this opportunity came about. And, he was saying how he thought this might be somewhere off in the future. And Deion Sanders encouraged him, hey, go ahead and make it happen now. And here we are a year later. And he, says he was pursued by Dr. Melody Webb, who's the athletic director over at Norfolk State, and State Senator Aaron Rouse. And, and the opportunity presented itself. He did say several times that this was not an easy decision. If he's been on the Fox NFL kickoff for the past couple of years. But, he said he felt like the time was right and the opportunity was right, and he gets to come home. And I think that's one big difference between he and Deion Sanders is that, this is home for Michael Vick. And, this is a place where, he's seen as the highest of the highs and lowest of the lows. And, so that's part of what made today such a great moment, again, not only for Norfolk State or for the MEAC for HBCUs, but actually just for this entire area. If you're of a certain age, like, I'm in my 30s, in my late 30s, probably can tell that. But anyway, I'm in my late 30s, and so, he's the first to finish. He, along with Allen Iverson, who was with him today, showing his support. If you heard the press conference, and I know a lot of people had a lot of things to say about the press conference, about the volume and things like that, and it was what it was. There were a lot of people in the room. I didn't do a count, but there were a couple hundred people in the room. We were all they had a couple mics, and the sound was what it was. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, and hopefully folks could hear what they could hear. I was kind of one man banding it, so I'm sorry my picture wasn't as pristine as it could be, but did the best to try to capture the moment. And there was literally so much going on. The sport of football as quarterback, paving the way for a lot of these guys that have come behind him. Another guy that was in the room, Allen Iverson, did the same thing. Again, being my age, I was able to see both of them really at their prime. And, I'm from North Carolina, but my uncle lives here in Newport News, and he has for years. And so I used to come up here all the time, when they were really at the height of their careers in that early 2000s. And, those guys were like everybody's heroes back in North Carolina, but in here in Virginia, it was on a whole different level. And both of those guys really helped pave the way for the modern athlete in terms of, having their own style, their own swag, as it would later come to be known, or Riz or R or whatever the kids are calling it now. So, they paved the way. They took a lot of lumps from things just from aesthetics, they were, Allen Iverson was kind of like the anti Michael Jordan in a lot of ways. He wasn't necessarily clean cut, Dean Smith, situation. He had his own flavor, and then Michael Vick obviously, had his own as well. So they really influenced a whole generation of people. But to see both of those guys here today, full circle as fully, grown men, and seeing the evolution is just, it was great to be. I felt privileged to be in the room, and there was just a lot of love and a lot of good energy. And, I got to say hats off to Norfolk State Athletic Director, Dr. Melody Webb. She definitely did her big one with this. Again, Norfolk State has a great history of basketball, great basketball tradition. I talked to Kyle Quinn. They've had a great basketball tradition going all the way back to the 60s and 50s, but their football program has been up and down, and mostly down, for most of my lifetime. 1984 CIAA championship was the last official championship that they still have. And so, that's been quite a while. So, Michael Vick is coming in, and he's not, saying that he's going to get 5-star players. He's not saying he's going to steal recruits from Virginia Tech or UNC, or, pretty much everybody comes to the 757 for talent, but he's just saying, he's going to go out there and get talented guys. He's going to coach them up and, use the experience that he has and the experience on his staff to really hone into those guys. And so it just was a great experience to be there. You could feel the energy behind Michael Vick there. And I think it was just great to have Allen Iverson there to co-sign with him. I believe Bruce Smith was there as well. So many of the talented individuals that have come from that area were there to support him. And it was like just a really full circle moment that, is going to carry over for a while. We got Christmas break coming up now, but obviously, recruiting is going to be important. Again, Coach Vick didn't say that he was going to promise that he was going to get 5 stars, but he did say he was going to go out there, compete for talent, and that he was planning on getting him some guys. And he talked about the fact that Norfolk State has never been to the Celebration Bowl. And that is facts. Again, the one championship they won in the MEAC was in 2011, pre-Celebration Bowl. So they have. So he's aware. It seems like he's aware of the landscape of where Norfolk State is, but it doesn't seem like that is where he feels like Norfolk State can be. And so it was just a great moment. We're gonna have more coverage from today, from stuff that happened that you guys didn't see in the live. Some interviews. We already got the interview with Allen Iverson up, kind of the pool interview that he did. Again, did the best we could with the sound situation. It's just a lot of people, and mics and all of that good stuff. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in the hour coverage of it. We do a lot of things. We wear a lot of different hats. Live coverage is just one thing that we do. But you'll be able to see the breakdown between myself, Tolly Carr, and Wilton Jackson a little bit later. And you'll also be able to see it on Fox Soul TV. We have a TV show there that comes on every Sunday night. So just blessed, and as we're wrapping up 2024, we just want to thank everybody that supported HBCU Game Day throughout the years. Today, throughout the years, as our platform grown and changed and evolved, we continue Again, sorry for the the pictures, just kind of the whole bill's kind of moved a little bit in the press conference. Everybody stood up for 7 green and gold jersey, and the excitement that he brought there. It remains to be seen how this will impact not only Norfolk State but also the entire MEAC. That's been talk as well. Obviously, uh, Commissioner Sonia Stills was there. Norfolk State. Norfolk is the home of the MEAC, and so no doubt there'll be a presence there as well. But I think for once, the eyes of the world were on Norfolk State football, and I don't think it'll be the last time, especially if Michael Vick has that success. You'll hear us talk about in the video upcoming that we've seen Deion Sanders have success. We saw Eddie George. Took him a little while to have success, and yeah. So a lot of people don't like the celebrity hires or guys who've never been a head coach as being hired, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere, especially if Michael Vick has his success, which is very much plausible. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You got any more questions? Any questions or comments or anything like that? I'll definitely listen to a couple of those or answer a couple of those. We also did get the hiring of Tremaine Jackson as the head coach uh, at Prairie View A&M. He just left Valdosta State, led them to the D2 National Championship game. We had 3 openings at the FCS level for HBCUs. Still, Alabama A&M. We'll see what they're going to do as they move on from the Connell Manor era. They're probably the highest profile job of the 3. And then you got Mississippi Valley State, and then also Delaware State as well. So those jobs remain open to be filled. There's some jobs at the D2 level. We did see Adrian Jones become the head coach over at Elizabeth City State. And so kudos to him. He previously coached at Shaw University, and Shaw has an opening as well. So still a lot more to cover, and we'll continue to cover everything that we can. And, we cover much more than just football, even though football is king. So, of course, you'll see our basketball coverage, CIAA, MEAC, SWAC, SIAC, all of that. But I just want to say, for myself and behalf of everybody, at the network, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, for your support. And we'll continue to give you guys more content the best way that we can going forward. So I appreciate everybody. My GPS is talking to me. Which means I need to get off this phone, but I appreciate you guys for listening to me babble a little bit. And stay tuned to HBCUGameday.com every day for everything that we got going on. I appreciate you guys. Peace.